Deforestation is one of those words that we normally associate with climate change, but do we really know its meaning? In today's video, we're gonna first give a brief explanation on what is deforestation. Then we're gonna talk about the four main causes of deforestation, its effects, what it will happen if deforestation is not stopped, and solutions from a governmental and individual perspective. So stay tuned because this is a very interesting video that affects climate change, and we're starting right now. Hi, my name is Andrea and welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to keep learning about tips on an eco-friendly lifestyle, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So what is deforestation? Deforestation is the permanent destruction of the forest in order to make the land available for other uses, like for example agriculture. And even though deforestation didn't start to become an issue until 1950s, the WWF has reported that we're getting to an alarming rate, where the equivalent to 27 source fields are being destroyed a minute. Blimey, huh? But what causes deforestation? Well, we cause deforestation. Okay, let me explain myself better on this. There is four main reasons of why we are deforesting our forests. The first one is wood supply. So of course, in order to produce products like furniture, cardboard or paper, we require wood. The second reason is agriculture. So the increase of global commodities are driving producers to clear forests to an alarming rate. Fourth, we have mining deforestation. So many forests are rich on minerals, which means that these are more vulnerable to mining deforestation. I mean, what is the value of trees in comparison with gold or diamonds? Well, I could argue that actually trees support life on Earth, but let's move on. Lastly, we have urbanization. Of course, the more we grow, the more land that we require. Now, these are big topics in which we might have no control, although I like to believe that there's always something that we can do. Before moving into the steps that we can do in a daily basis in order to fight deforestation, it's important that we understand its effects. But it's also important that we understand the methods you use to clear a forest. There's two methods. The first one is by clear cutting, which is very clear. And the second one is by the use of fire, which dumps tons of CO2 into the atmosphere. Here's the controversy of the Amazon fires this year. But apart of the amount of CO2 that we dump into the atmosphere, what other effects deforestation has in our environment? Well, there is three main effects with some ramifications, so let's start discussing this. The first effect is the loss of habitat. So one of the most unsettling effects of deforestation is the loss of animals and plants due to the loss of habitat, which is driving many of these species close to the extinction. The most famous examples are the Sumatra tiger or the orangutan. And the thing is that we're not only losing those animals and plants that we know, but also the ones that we know, which is potentially a bigger loss. Why? Just think about this. 121 natural remedies are found in the rainforest, and 25% of the cancer-fighting systems are found in the Amazon. The second effect is the loss of trees. Okay, so trees are not only important for the environment because of the conversion from CO2 into oxygen, which is key for our survival, but they're also very important because they provide the rainforest with a canopy that helps to regulate temperatures. Without this, temperatures change more drastically from night to day. It's more like a desert and it's a way of referring to climate change. Additionally, trees also help to regulate the water into the atmosphere. Without trees, there is less water to return to the soil, meaning that we're going to have more unfertile soils in which we are going to be unable to plant crops. The last effect is the destruction of homelands for indigenous tribes, which have a direct link with violence and corruption. So ending deforestation is the best way of conserving our wildlife and protecting our forests, but at the same time is the quickest and most effective way to fight climate change. So what will happen if deforestation is not stopped? Three things: starvation, rise of temperatures and CO2, and a possible mass extinction. Wow, Andrea, you're being really dramatic on this one. Am I? Let's look into this. Up to 28,000 species are expected to be extinct by the next quarter of a century. Humans will not be able to graze plants or animals because of the lack of fertile soils. Because of that, we're going to have to change our diet and look for proteins somewhere else. Probably the ocean, which, by the way, is already polluted and full of plastic. Because the ocean is already polluted, and because we're not going to have enough trees, carbon emissions will rise at the same as temperatures, while oxygen levels will decrease. If we combine all of these elements, we're definitely moving towards it could be a mass extinction. I know, it is very scary. So what we can do in order to avoid this critical situation? Well, in order to move forward on the steps that we can follow, we need to divide these solutions into governmental and individual. Let's start with governmental ones. Okay, we need to be honest on something. And the thing is that it would be almost impossible to end deforestation nowadays, mainly because it's directly linked to global economy. But I still believe there is many things that governments could do in order to reduce its impact. One of them is to make that not certified products are forbidden or penalized. Only by this way companies can establish zero deforestation policies in which they hold accountable their suppliers for illegal deforestation. I read a very interesting article about innovative ways of fighting deforestation, so let me know if you're interested and make a video about it. Another thing is for governments to improve and implement recycling procedures. Only by this way companies are going to be able to use recycling materials as the raw material and make the final product more available and affordable to the consumer. The thing is that the planet is so rich in so many raw materials, but we're running out of them, and at the same time we are destroying the planet on its way. Why? Because of bad administration, where we are throwing away perfect, good condition materials and we're making new ones instead of reusing the old ones. So with all of this, what I mean is that we need to ask our governments to move from a linear economy to a circular one. And I know this is a massive step that has many parties involved and requires time, maybe a time that we don't have. So for that reason, meanwhile we wait for governments to implement changes, there's still things that you can do in your daily basis in order to become more eco-friendly, but also fight deforestation. Because remember, there is no product if there is no demand. So here are the 7 steps that you can follow in your daily basis. Here we go. Step number 1, consume less. Buy only what you need. For example, go paperless if you can, but also try to avoid those industrial transformed products such as cookies or pot noodles, which are full of chemicals and preservatives. Instead, go for a homemade alternative, which it will be much better for you, but also for the environment. Step number 2, use less petrol. Palm oil, one of the basic ingredients for biofuels, is also one of the main causes of deforestation. So whenever you can, try to avoid your car and instead use public transport or a green way of moving, like for example a bike or your legs. Step number 3, eat less meat. Eating less meat is a key element in order to move forward towards an eco-friendly lifestyle. So just try to reduce it if you can. Step number 4, buy certified products. So trying to fight deforestation and trying to live in an eco-friendly lifestyle, it doesn't mean that you need to do big sacrifices and stop eating cookies or crisps. The only thing that you need to do, especially, is to go for brands and products that they actually follow your moral ethics. Just check that they are not using palm oil, check that they're not coming in plastic packaging. Just try to reduce your consumerism, and buying certified products, it will help you with that. Step number 5, recycle correctly and use recyclable products. So I know recycling is a mess. There is so many problems with recycling, and for that reason I have created a series of YouTube videos on how to recycle. The thing is that it's very important that we all recycle correctly if you want to implement recycling procedures and hopefully in the future move to a circular economy. Also, if you can, use recycled products, because you're going to be sending the message that recycled products are on demand. Step number 6, forest restoration. So nowadays, because deforestation is becoming such an issue, there is many communities that they're planning on restoring the forest. There is many activities like soil erosion control or planting trees around different areas. So just check what you have locally, and if you can to join a community, just do it. You will make a massive difference only by planting one tree. And the last point is spread awareness. This is the most important point of all of the points that I just mentioned. And the main reason for that is because there are so many people that are not conscious about the consequences of their daily choices. Just tell them, just make them aware that they can change and they can move towards an eco-friendly lifestyle. Knowledge is key here. Unfortunately, some of the damage that we've done to the planet, it will be almost impossible to repair. And it is true that for a very long time we didn't know the consequences of our actions or the consequences of the production of certain products. But we know now, and we also have the certainty that if we don't do anything about it, things are gonna get much worse. So while we keep waiting and demanding the help from our governments, it's also important that we understand that we need to lower our consumer demands. Because if we continue purchasing products like beef, palm oil or soya beans, deforestation is never going to end, because there's always going to be a profit associated to it. So that's it for today. I hope you really enjoyed the video and the information provided. Now I want to hear from you, because we have a lot of chaos to fix in order to become more eco-friendly. So let's share the knowledge. Have a lovely day.